Hello, everybody. It's another episode of the Cheap Shot Challenge for the Uncanny Spirits Club here on a cold Ohio night. It started snowing today for the first snow of the season, and he's got a lot to say about it. And it's pretty chilly. But I've got something different and unexpected today, and I'm a little filled with trepidation on what this is. But we're going to see how it treats us. It is not a whiskey. It is not a rum or a beer. It is not a brandy or various other things. This is 20 grand gold. This is a cat who's ignoring my warnings. And it is vodka infused with cognac. Now, one of those two things I like, and it's the infusion part. I'm not really the vodka guy. You guys know that about me. You folks know that. So I'm interested, but also a little full of dread, I suppose you could say. And the plastic that I'm trying to take off to get it open here keeps peeling off the neck here. Um, It's bottled by the Three Springs Bottling Company in Bowling Green, Kentucky for City Spirits with a Z. Um, don't know how I feel about that. Contains no more than 1% cognac by volume. Caramel color added. Well, that's disappointing. But we'll see how it does anyway. It's premium imported. Where's it imported from if it's bottled by somewhere in Kentucky for City Spirits? I'll have to look up where City Spirits comes from. It's 80 proof, so it's foolproof, and it squeaks into the challenge a penny shy of the $20 limit at $19.99 at my local grocery store here in Ohio. And it's a nice bottle, as you can see. It's got more of a cognac-inspired bottle than a vodka-inspired bottle. Vodka bottles are usually pretty simple, just like what they have inside. And the cognac bottles are a bit fancier. So it's leaning more on that, despite having only 1% cognac per volume.
It's 1% fancy.
So we're going to pop the top on this. It does have a cork. And this is a cat. And it's in there pretty firm, too. Ooh, that's a satisfying pop. It is a synthetic cork. Doesn't smell too awful. The gold up here is a plastic. It's not like a metal, which would have been nice, but at $20, you can't expect them to give you this big heavy lump of metal. And it wouldn't, I know for a fact it wouldn't be real gold, of course, because why would it? But 20 grand. Gotta go for the look there. It doesn't smell bad, to be honest. There's a little bit of concerning vodka smell in there, but not as much as I would have thought. I don't know. The more I smell it, the worse it gets. So I'm going to pour some, and I've gone a little bit conservative with my Crest glasses here with a little bit of water because I'm not going to have a whole lot, unless it's delicious. I mean, who knows?
It could be.
It could be absolutely fantastic, but I have occasionally been wrong before. It's only occasionally, though. Go there to the bottom of the little sprays there. And we're going to pop that cork back in if I can manage it, because it was in there pretty good. It's going to keep that fresh. We'll say that. Not going to get any sort of aeration there. Let me see.
smells
It
nice.
smells kind of caramelly. I know the caramel is supposed to be just caramel color, but it has a little bit of a caramelly, sweet, sugar kind of scent. A little fumey smelling. I guess there's nothing for it. I'm just gonna have to try it. So this is the 20 grand, 20 grand gold vodka infused with cognac. Let's see what we got.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. It is very sweet.
I like it.
It's super sweet. It has like a honey, like a thin honey kind of taste, like you're drinking honey almost. It tastes like when I was a kid and I would make myself sugar water in the summer for fun out of water bottles. I would put a bunch of sugar, like that much sugar, into a big Gatorade water bottle and fill it the rest with water, then shake it up, and then just drink that. I didn't tell my folks that I did that, by the way.
They're learning it now.
But it tastes a little bit like that. It is absurdly sweet. It does not taste like vodka.
I think it tastes like Crown Royal.
It's a little bit like a really sweet Crown.
Mhm.
It's not as, it doesn't have the wood taste
No.
that you get from Crown. So it's definitely not a whiskey, but
It has that tone.
this would be something that would almost be worth it as an experiment with my various whiskey creation kit stuff.
No, it's delicious. Don't make it weird.
That's the story of my life. Don't make it weird. And they always make it weird. But it's not bad. I think it's probably in the long term going to be too sweet for me. I'll probably have to add a bit more water just to cut the sweetness a little bit. Or try to figure out maybe add some bitters and make an old fashioned out of it. I don't think I'd have to add the sugar. I think I could skip the actual muttered. I'm muttering right now. Muddled sugar. And I think I could just add in some bitters and probably turn this into something really enjoyable. Because it's not bad. I'm very surprised that it was not horrible. I was expecting disaster.
I like it.
It has a little bit of cough syrup tone, a little. So I definitely need to try to cut down on the sweetness by a smidge.
Mm.
But you know what? Actually, I'm thinking about it, and it reminds me of Southern Comfort,
Oh, yeah, maybe.
which I really enjoy. There's something about this that's not quite the same that makes it so the sweetness is not as bearable because the Southern Comfort generally the sweetness I'm kind of like okay it's really sweet which I usually don't like but the rest of the flavor kind of helps keep it on par and I really enjoy it. This has a little bit less of that kind of flavor and a little bit more of the sweetness so it's a little unbalanced but that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me a lot of Southern Comfort but not quite as well rounded. It's more just sweet than it is with that kind of fruity kind of spice kind of taste that you get from that. Um, so I will want to do something with this, but it wouldn't take much. Possibly some bitters, possibly a squirt of some kind of juice that would be complementary. Um, Something just to kind of take that edge off and add a little bit more flavor to the whole thing. But it is not horrible. It is not bad. It is generally surprised me. So I can say that I've been wrong about this. It was not what I was expecting it to be. I thought it was going to taste like a vodka with perhaps some cognac to help it not taste as much like vodka.
I had faith. I thought it would be good.
But it's not bad. I do like it. And I don't know how often I would get it in the future, but at $20, it wouldn't be a bad mixer for $20. I think some experimenting to get it to find a good pairing with it would really work out to my advantage. And I think would be worth doing. And it's at 80 proof, so it's not that expensive for full proof for being something that isn't that bad, that isn't just a low grade bourbon or a whiskey that I usually stick to. A lot of your regular vodkas and rums and things that are under this price point can be kind of iffy. If they taste good, they're not always foolproof. And if they're foolproof, they don't always taste good. So this is a pretty good compromise there. Um, it's not bad. It isn't bad. I have to say that. I have to conclude that it is not bad. It's the 20 grand gold vodka infused with cognac, 80 proof for a full bottle, 750 milliliters. Bottled by Three Springs Bottling Company in Bowling Green, Kentucky, for City Spirits with a Z. And City is spelled CITI.
Like Citibank.
Yeah, City Spirits. So I'll have to look that up and find out who makes this just out of my own curiosity because I've never heard of that before. But I'm sure they're probably some big brand and they make a bunch of stuff that's all within the same price point. Or maybe they're big into cognacs or they're big into brandies or something, and this is part of that line. They're not big into the stuff that I usually drink. So decent bottle, $19.99 at my local grocery store, and it's something that you can work with. I think it's a good starting point for a really solid mixed drink. I don't think you'd have to add any sort of simple syrup or sugar to whatever your final product was, which is a good benefit because it saves you a little bit of money and it saves you a step in the mixing process.
And the bottle is pretty.
It is a nice bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that slim profile. It's got the cap, and this is a hefty cork. I mean, it's a synthetic cork, but I mean, oh, it stays in there. So you're not going to get a whole lot of air in and out of there if you're worried about that kind of thing. Um, yeah, it stays pretty solid. It's a pretty solid close there. So that's it. I'm gonna finish this. Maybe later I'll try to put some things together and maybe make some videos of some recipes, perhaps if I come up with something that is okay. I don't know. I don't have a lot to work with in the house right now, but in the near future I will. So we're gonna see what that does. Um, but in the meantime, that's it. Videos for the Spirits Club are going to be a little behind now. I've got all caught up with my backlog, and then my budget for this is kind of behind right now, so it's going to catch up in the near future. I'll probably start with simple stuff. I'll probably get the 6 packs of beers to spread things out because it's the most cost effective before I get more into this kind of stuff. So keep an eye on those in the future. Can't guarantee when they'll be out, but just keep an eye on the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. Thank you. That's all. Cheers. I can find the button here and fumbling around. It's been a long time since I did this. Keep cheersing if you could.